This video focuses on creating purchase orders for items that do not have material codes. This might be done if a utility needs to print or provide a purchase order for any major purchase or a purchase over a certain dollar amount. OpenPoint can be used to create the purchase order, even though it has no tie to the inventory system. It's simply a record of any major purchase being made. For the examples in this video, I'm going to create one purchase order with no material codes on it at all, and then another purchase order that has a combination of items with no material codes and then some with material codes. First, the one with no material codes. So we'll want to create a new purchase order for the no material code item. You can enter the purchase order number, the vendor code, and then create. So for our purchase order items on this particular purchase order, since it's a non-material item, all we need to do is fill in the description, and then how many was ordered, the unit of measure, the unit price, and then if there was any shipping or taxes. We're just using shipping on this one, and we're done there. And then you can just save this non-material code item, and all that's on this purchase order then is this new meter test bench. We're going to, in this instance, print the purchase order form because in many cases, this is the reason we want the purchase order for the non-material item is the vendor that you're purchasing it from actually needs either a paper or digital copy of the purchase order. So this is what the purchase order form would look like for that meter test bench, and you can either print it out or send a digital copy to your vendor. Then, because this has no effect on the inventory system, if you want to close out this purchase order, you can just click on the closed as ordered, and it will close out this purchase order. If you don't choose the close as ordered option, you can go through and individually receive and invoice the item on this purchase order, but you first need to approve it. And then you can go in and receive it. And save that, and then invoice it. And then that will also close the purchase order. Next, we're going to create a purchase order with a non-material and a material item on it. So again, we're going to create our purchase order, pick a vendor code, create, and on our purchase order items on this particular purchase order, we're going to pick one inventory item. And then we're also going to put in one non-material item. So here we have the non-material item where you can see there is no material code, and then the one that does have the material code on it. So on this purchase order, you could do closed as ordered if you know you've already received all this and everything is been invoiced already, or if you want to go through each line item and receive and invoice it as it comes in. If you truly did this purchase order before you had received any of the product, you would first have to approve it and then go in and receive the item from inventory and invoice it. So that your total material items is updated in your inventory system, but the non-material item is still showing as not received or invoiced. But in this instance, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect the inventory system. However, if you would like to be able to close this purchase order, you can't use the closed as ordered button. I'll just show you what happens if you do that. You can't close it because it already has transactions on this. So you can only use the closed as ordered button if you haven't done any other transactions on the purchase order. So in this instance, if you want to receive and invoice the non-material item, you would have to go into that individual line item and do each transaction. By doing that, then the purchase order automatically closes itself. So this just shows two different instances in the purchase order system where you have a non-material item and how you can go through that process.